Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the help of the folks on Ilson Bygone's Facebook page, who helped me with some of the backstory with respect to the aqueduct. Many thanks to you people. So, moving on to the meat and potatoes.
Didn't we have a lovely time the day we went to Bangor? A beautiful day, we had lunch on the way, and all for under £1, you know. But on the way back I cuddled with Jack and we opened a bottle of cider, singing a few of our favourite songs as the wheels went around. Do you recall the thrill of it all as we walked along the seafront? Then on the sand we heard a brass band that played the diddly bump. Sarara, Elsie and me had one cup of tea, then we took our pedal a boat out, splashing away as we sailed round the bay and the wheels went.
We pick up the route at the point where the canal crosses the A6002 Coventry Lane, and it's here where the access to the footpath can be gained in either direction. This video turns away from the city and heads west-northwest. The Nottingham Canal, more usually known locally as the Top Cut, was originally dug to the south and east from the junction of the Cromford Canal with the Erewash Canal at Langley Mill. It headed towards the River Trent at Nottingham. The Act of Parliament for the Nottingham Canal was passed in 1792, and the waterway was opened in 1796. The canal provided the city of Nottingham with a direct link to the coalfields around Ripley, Eastwood and Ilkeston. Open and navigable, there now remains only a 2.5 mile length through central Nottingham from Lenton Chain to the Trent. This was originally intended to be a bypass spur to avoid that part of the river, as there were concerns over the navigability of that particular stretch. The canal bed, despite being marked in blue on most maps, is dry for the most part now. However, it's still in regular use as a public footpath along most of its length. The scope of this particular video is the canal from this point towards Langley Mill, although weather, COVID restrictions and other priorities may allow a part 2 at some time in the future. Although that, as they say, is a subject for another video.
It makes me feel ill when I think on the mill and the wheels going round. Didn't we have a lovely time the day we went to Bangor? A beautiful day, we had lunch on the way, and all for under £1, you know. But on the way back I cuddled with Jack and we opened up.
Many local businesses lie along the present track, and only half a mile or so further on is the Trowell Garden Centre. The garden centre was built across the line of the canal and as such obliterated a short stretch of it. But as you walk around the outside of the site, there are lovely views of the traffic scurrying past on the nearby M1 and Trowell St Helens Church.
Destination that we found, I turned to see the northern lights behind the way.
There's a nature reserve here and has been since 1977. In fact, the whole length is a huge wildlife sanctuary providing many hours of fun watching the animals, birds, insects and sometimes even fish as they go about the daily chores which are part and parcel of staying alive. A beautiful walk on a summer's evening. It's hard to picture how heavily industrialised all of this was just one short century ago.
How to bright, too young, so now I live to sing. I know it's hard away from you, travelling roads and passing through. It's not for money and it's not for fame. I just can't explain. Sometimes it's lonely, marking the space between the days. Early hours pass away. I sing to you of northern lights. I sing for you of northern nights. Past the future, here or there, shelter comes in words from you, so talk to me.
We lose the canal bed here as the M1 passes overhead, the canal at this point having been filled in and the pathway dipping briefly down to the road level. Cue Rambo!
Lights
Several of the road overbridges are used by kids as graffiti boards. Some are quite impressive, others maybe not so.
Really free. I'm missing you near me, marking the space between the days. Early hours pass away.
This is the site of Cossall Pit from the top of the spoil heap. Once the pit had closed, the site of the pit's spoil heap was opened as a dry ski slope. This operated into the late 1990s, but it too has since closed. Now the canal bed has a large corrugated pipeline laying in it. This alleviates flooding and allows the excess surface water to drain off in either direction, as required at the time. There is a bridge over Coronation Road known as Echo Bridge. This bridge is unusual in that it is now two bridges, one which used to be the canal bed and now houses what has become two pipelines across Coronation Road, and one which was the track bed of the disused railway siding which went into the now abandoned Cossall, known locally as Cozza, pit. However, both used to be part of a short tunnel. The local kids would stand in the tunnel and make noises to hear the echoes which gave it its name. In about 1959, this was removed in an effort to make the road traffic flow better, and the twin bridge system which we see today was put in its place. The pit closed in November of 1966 after 93 years of operation. This leaves what is now the pedestrian bridge over the road. In the middle of a large sweeping bend, which is there in order to follow the contour of the land and therefore obviate the use of a time-consuming lock system, is a junction. Leading off to the east is the Robinet's Arm. This was a short branch, about half a mile, which leads to a coal mine, now long closed, the site of which is now just another agricultural field. Shortly after leaving the main line of the canal, it's blocked by Cossall Road, which crosses over two small pipes embedded in a bridge.
Don't question, I'm not alone. Somehow I'll find my way home. My sun shall rise in the east, so shall my heart be at peace. And if you're asking me when, I'll say it starts at the end. You know your will to be free is matched with love.
The arm is now overgrown and falling into dilapidation. The towpath is missing at its upper reaches, and following its course is very difficult. But as nature reclaims it, the beauty is worth the odd muddy boot.
Your friend is close by your side and speaks in far ancient tongue. A season's wish will come true. All seasons
Leaving the Robinet's Arm behind us, we now find ourselves back on the main line. We head off towards the north again for Langley Mill. Of course, we do find ourselves pausing occasionally for a deeper investigation into the smells and to the locality of what is around, historically and aesthetically.
Somehow we're going somewhere.
Now, the River Erewash may not be huge, but it does have a presence. No less than two canals, two roads and a main line railway are squeezed together in the geological toothpaste tube of its shallow valley, making life and views very interesting. Rarely are you entirely free of the noise of the rail traffic on the old Midland line between Nottingham and Chesterfield. At one point, the Great Northern Railway used to cross not only the Nottingham Canal, but the Erewash Canal, two major roads, the Midland Railway Line, Benley Ironworks and the whole Erewash Valley with just the one bridge, called Benley Viaduct. Link in the description if the poor befuddled brain can remember to do that. Not satisfied with doing it once, the GNR also built Orsworth or Kimberley or Guildford Viaduct, take your pick, known locally as 40 Bridges, which saved confusion. Well, they did around here anyway. Which was constructed to take the Pinkston branch of the GNR over the valley. Sadly, this is long gone, but the Benley Viaduct is still alive, well, and has a future planned out for her as part of a footpath and cycleway.
No questions, I'm not alone. Somehow I'll find my way home. Somehow I'll find my way home.
The canal continues along its way, filled in and buried, before reaching the Great Northern Basin at Langley Mill, meeting with the Erewash and Cromford canals. Today it's calm, with boats at their moorings awaiting collection by their weekend sailors. These days there are just people enjoying the now clean air and the views, so different from its original purpose. Well, that's it for this time. Many thanks for watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Please feel free to look at the other videos on my channel. If you have any ideas for future videos that you'd like to see, then let me know. I'm always looking around for subjects. Please like and subscribe and comment. Hopefully I'll find you next time. Until then, have fun and stay safe.